So essentially, my name is Weihua Guan. I'm also assistant professor in electrical engineering. I'm in my 5th year here. So the first time I learned about ABRL is several years back. So in 2016, when the second year I joined Penn State, I was in a conference, Biodefense Summit, that happens in Baltimore that year. And I was sharing a session, and after my presentation, Walt comes up and says, hey, I didn't know we have to meet the Penn State researcher in a conference beyond the Penn State campus. So at that time, I sort of like get connected to Walt and generally know the ABRL, and then from then, we sort of start working on some of the, they bring a lot of opportunities, like the opportunities in 2017, there's like US Com, and later on there's subsystem that Ada mentioned. All these opportunities, I mean, won't be possible without like ABRL bring this opportunity to our attention. And this is really a big like plus from the ABRL side. So the project that I'm currently sort of get funded and is ready to be kicked off is sort of a separate line of this whole process. So for that, it's an OTA process. I think Aline is going to talk about a little bit later on. So the OTA, this OTA opportunity comes, actually also dates a few years back. So I think a lot of opportunities don't happen, you know, I guarantee next year. That does take a lot of time. So that happens when I think in 2017, December, I still remember it's snowing day. And so Dr. Howard Sellis in chemistry, he has a visitor from ECBC, and I don't know who hooked me up to his visitor. So I went to meet his visitor, and his visitor is actually not exactly doing what I'm doing. By the way, I'm doing on the area of like developing point of care diagnostic systems. So he sort of connected me to his college, like in ECBC. And then through like a few phone calls and email exchanges, they are very interested. I also sent them a few papers published, and they've sort of know what we're doing, and they're interested in seeing a prototype that we developed in the lab. So I send them a prototype, and they sort of know what I'm doing, and they're very interested in sort of that specific technology, and when they develop a new line of like research. So I guess I was in their mind when this sort of OTA opportunity comes out, and exactly in the same time, ABRL very timely hosted that OTA symposium, and I learned a lot from that symposium, and from this process, ABRL is really good in helping me guiding through this like whole OTA process, because it's quite, and from my perspective, it's actually pretty daunting tasks to navigate through this admin side. It's a little bit complicated because 6.2 research, there is TCP process, export control. So all these things, I have no idea. I'm so like, because often I'm writing NSF, NIH, most of the times with UU's office. They basically did a lot of like heavy lifting behind the scenes, so we barely know what's the negotiation. I mean, there's no negotiation from my side. And when this like OTA process coming from first of all, from the enhanced white paper, and then we submit to the government, and then there's a selection process, and once we are selected, there's negotiation, back and forth. It's not just one time of negotiation, back and forth, revising your SALs, revising some of the budget details, timelines, deliverables, all this, each of those steps, Crystal from ABRL and Walt did a lot of work. I mean, they're very responsive. A lot of times, in evenings, like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., that's and on the weekends, I mean, it's unbelievable. So, yeah, through this help, they also helping to ensure this compliance, like on the SALs, what should I put there, not just technically, but from this administrative perspective, what is the right thing to put there, what is not so good to put there, so that they really helped us to avoid a lot of, obviously, loopholes probably in the process, because we're good at science, but not really good at this admin stuff. So, yeah, I would say, without ABRL's help, I think it's not going to happen with this with the award I get. So with that, I really thank Irene and all the ABRL teams for their really hard-working effort. Yeah. So for the advice I give to you, I think essentially, I would, to sum up, I will say probably 2 advice I can give. One is definitely work with ABRL, and not only for the administrative side, but they do bring a lot of opportunities that we barely sort of are aware, from normal routes. Second is their administrative help and support is really amazing. So you cannot do anything better than that. All right, thanks very much. Yeah.